Hey everyone, it's Aaron from Autofit Birmingham. Today I'm going to be doing my review on this Mercedes CLA, and I gotta say, when I first heard about Mercedes bringing out the new Mercedes A-Class, and I also heard that they were partnering up with Renault, I was thinking, Mercedes, what on earth are you thinking? But if you're lucky enough to have the 200 or the 220, a Mercedes engine, front wheel drive, you might just be onto something there. Let's go and have a look. If at the moment you've got an A180 CDI and it's manual, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Underneath that car is a Renault Clio. Even worse, I think it could even have the same pedigree as the Dacia Duster. I've worked on that many of those engines, and there's things I've seen that I don't like. For years, I mean, I've been messing around with cars since I was 8 years old, and anybody that knows me knows Mercedes is my favourite brand. I mean, I've even got a Mercedes 300 SL Goldwing tattooed on my left arm. I've never ever in my life ever seen a timing belt on a Mercedes engine. But when you look under the bonnet of an A180 and you see a 1.5 Renault engine and you see a timing belt, it's definitely not a good look. Now, although I am 100% against Renault and Mercedes combining together, because I know Renault have worked with Nissan and other companies to kind of, you know, combine what they're doing. What they have done is they've bought this car here, the Mercedes CLA 220 CDI, proper Mercedes engine, Mercedes interior, but front wheel drive. Now everybody's got a German rear wheel drive, is all thinking the same thing. I can't drive my car in the snow, I can't drive it in the winter. But what if you've got a luxury 5-star Mercedes with the Mercedes engine but running front wheel drive with the 7G automatic gearbox? Now that is something I do agree with. Under here we've got the 220 CDI engine producing 177 brake horsepower, and now normally when I work on the other Mercedes, when I see this engine, it's actually tilted the other way around for the rear wheel drive. Being front wheel drive, what they've done is with the chassis they've crammed it this way to make it easier for the front wheel drive gearbox and drive system, but you've still got the 7G automatic gearbox from Mercedes. And Mercedes, I've got to say, do make some of the best automatic gearboxes in the world. They're silky smooth. And this engine I've seen, again, in the Sprinter, in the Mercedes Sprinter van, do 600,000 miles. So if it's good enough for them, it's definitely good enough for a family car like this. And the one thing I've got to say is, power to weight distribution and with fuel efficiency, this car is awesome on fuel. Everything just kind of collides with everything. You've got the gear changing. I mean, the car is that smart, it's changing gear when you need to. I mean, I think manual cars really, I don't think they're going to be around much longer, but when you've got an automatic car doing all the work for you, why would you want to drive a manual car anyway? I think everything under here is still usual Mercedes refinements. Everything's kind of easy accessible, apart from one thing, which is the diesel filter, which is crammed right at the back of the engine, but it's not something you do every service. But apart from that, again, Mercedes have done a really good job of putting this together, putting the engine in, making it front wheel drive, and putting their stamp on something that they've made look so great. So some of my favourite bits on this CLA, I've got to say, what an absolutely beautiful yet aggressive front end. I mean, just look at the bonnet there and how you've got the grooves going in there and coming into the bumpers. I mean, the styling on this car is absolutely awesome. I can see why so many people are driving them. Also, this car has the Mercedes-Benz by Xenon intelligent lighting. They don't all come with it, but I think if you're buying one, it's definitely something you should have, because I think without them, you know, it kind of loses its aggressiveness and its prettyfulness. But we've got the AMG black spoiler underneath, and on this one someone's wrapped the Mercedes-Benz sign in black, which I think is a good feature. And I mean, look at that grille there, it just looks like a vortex, like it's sucking you in. When we come to the side, I don't know if you can see down here, but we've got the Mercedes-Benz black AMG alloys. Now, you normally see these on the CLA45, but somebody's obviously paid a lot of money to have them on the CLA220. This one, as you can see, the drill disc, it's got the Mercedes AMG Sport Pack with the AMG braking. And as we come round to the side, we've got the Mercedes black mirrors and of course the Mercedes black skirts underneath, being the AMG Sport Plus. We've got the panoramic roof at the top, and if you come round to the back, and if we open the boot as well, you can see there's plenty of space for a family to put in their shopping, to put in their pram, and to get all those bits and bobs you need in the back. Just a really practical car, and also one that you can put your family in, drive around comfortably and look the part. Also, what I've noticed as well, somebody's blacked out these lights here. Now when these LEDs come on, I've got to say it's an absolute thing of beauty. And it's got the two exhausts on each side with the mesh here, just giving that aggressive look at the back as well, just to compensate with the front. And if we come round the side, one of my favourite bits, almost like a coupe, pillarless doors. I just think that's an absolute genius idea. Probably take it from the CLS, and to bring it down to the CLA, I just think that's an absolute great idea. So I'm inside the CLA, and all I can say is wow. I mean, the seats are awesome. We've got the bucket seats here with the extra padding around the side, and because this is the AMG Sport Plus, it's got all the red stitching. I don't know if you can see it around here, but we've got all the red stitching on the seats, and it's got the extension on the seats here that you can pull out in and out, just to give that bit more comfort. And this has actually got the bigger screen, and because this is the last of this shape that they'll be making, it's got all the newer refinements. So we've got the newer steering wheel in here, we've got the bigger screen, and these seats, they're just, you know, they're really comfortable. And the driving position on these are always great. I mean, Mercedes have done a great job with the way they put the steering wheel in that place, and that, you know, your view is a little tiny bit restricted, but you know, it's definitely a great place to be sitting. And if you look at the shine here, I mean, how futuristic are these really? I mean, they look amazing, don't they? You know, I think especially when you're picking up passengers and they get into your car, and you know, surely they must feel like $1 million when you're sitting in luxury like this. You've got them beautiful paddles as well when you want to drop the 7G gearbox and start using the manual mode. We've got the sport button, and also this has got the start stop as well. Personally, I'd always turn it off when I get into my own car, because I just think you're putting wear onto the engine and wear onto the start motor that doesn't need to be there. But this is also the cheaper roll tax version as well. But definitely a nice place to be, especially if you're driving. You know, sometimes you get in cars and when you get behind the steering wheel, there's not really much going on. You know, but on this, you can feel like you're in a luxury branded cars. I mean, even the clocks in front of me, they kind of remind me of like the old SLR McLaren, the way it's got the silver clocks with the red dials. But definitely a lovely family car, and this has got the panoramic roof with the it's got the protector on there at the moment. But what I am going to do is I'm going to get into the back and see how it feels in the back. I mean, it's great in the front, so let's have a feel and see how it feels in the back. Right, so I'm in the back of this CLA, and it is comfortable, but I'm not going to lie, because the roof kind of slants down a little bit. I've not got a lot of headroom. I do feel a bit claustrophobic in the back, but it's definitely comfortable. But you know, you can only put 2 people in the back, and I just feel like there's not a lot of space for the people in the back. I mean, if you've just got children you want to put in the back, it's definitely perfect for them. But carrying adults, I think, you know, on the long journey could probably be uncomfortable. There's a little bit of you know, where you can tell they've cut corners in the carpet on the floor and stuff like that. But you know, all in all, you can't expect to have everything. You know, it's not a CLA 45 AMG or, you know, something on the top end of their market. You bought a diesel car, but to have the luxury that it has, I don't really think there's much you can complain. You've got to give for what you take, and I mean, that's kind of what you do here. If you love the car, you accept that at the back you haven't got much space, but it's definitely nice to have the 4 doors sometimes, you know. But all in all, it is a nice place to be, and they've done a good job with the seats in the back. And I think it's missing the usual Mercedes armrest that they normally have here as well. But definitely a nice place to be. But if you're super tall, sit in the front, because you're not going to like it in the back. Right, so I'm driving the CLA220 CDI, and I've got to say, it's so smooth and quiet and well insulated inside and out. I can barely hear the engine. It sounds like I'm driving a petrol. Definitely a lovely drive. I mean, I think as soon as you get in a Mercedes, your arms on the armrest, and you feel that you're a proper businessman. But it just gives you the feel that you're somebody important when you drive a Mercedes. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, I think we all are important people. But now I'm on the open road. Oh, it's just so smooth and comfortable. And I think this is probably the first ever front wheel drive Mercedes with this engine that I've ever driven. And you know what, it just works. You know, I didn't think it would, but it just works so well. Definitely a nice place to be, definitely a nice drive, and the gearbox and the engine combination is just so smooth. I mean, obviously when you put your foot down, you're gonna get that forward jumping like you get in an Audi TT or something when you put your foot down. But usually if in the rear wheel drive Mercedes, put your foot down and the back end snaking, but obviously this you wouldn't get any of it being front wheel drive. But you can tell Mercedes have put time and effort. Whatever they've used of Renault, it's as if they've got rid of it, got their own engineers in, got it exactly how a Mercedes should drive. It almost feels as though you're driving a rear wheel drive Mercedes car. But I've got to say, it's just a beautiful drive. I didn't expect it to be so nice. The gear changes are so beautiful and instant. I'm not feeling no gear change. It just, whatever Mercedes have done, they've definitely got it right with this car. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a shame about the space in the back. But if you're looking for a family car and you know your budget's between £20,000-30,000, you know, definitely something I'd consider. I mean, for the price of a brand new 3 Series, I'd rather have this Mercedes CLA. You've got the class, you've got the style, you've got the looks. You get inside, you've got the luxury, you've got the refinement. I mean, this car just feels like you're floating on air. It almost feels as though it's got air suspension. The ride feels that nice. But I'm in comfort mode at the moment as well, so maybe that's helping. But I've also realised, well, also you've got manual and you've got sport mode like on the other Mercedes gearboxes, on the modern ones anyway. We've got the 7G, so we've got the actual 7-gear gear stick up here. That big screen up there, that is awesome. I mean, you can see all the little, it's telling me that we've got an Asda here, it's telling me where the local restaurants are, it's telling me my speed and which direction we're heading in. And even the way the vents are pointing at you and the way everything's easy to get. I've got the ladder here, I can press with voice command and I can get my telephone up, I can change the radio, put my CD on. She probably won't listen to me, but that's just the story of my life. Yeah, it's just definitely a nice place to be. The mirrors are situated right. I think Mercedes have done a great job. I was worried about the CLA looking the part, but not, you know, talking, but not, you know, not walking with the talk. But it definitely matches both sides. You know, if you're not convinced about a front-wheel drive Mercedes car, this one with the proper Mercedes engine in there, I'd say go drive one. You know, if you don't like it, well then, you know, I was completely wrong, but it does drive amazing. Don't get me wrong, you haven't got the full refinements of a Mercedes S-Class or an E-Class or even, you know, like a C-Class, but you've still got a Mercedes-Benz. It's a 5-door Mercedes-Benz. It drives lovely, you know, and you got to look at the price-wise difference as well. So if I was to go buy an S-Class, a second-hand S-Class right now, the same year as this, I'm spending £50,000-60,000. This car, I know, was purchased recently for just under £30,000. So if you're going to look at the differences in price as well, you will always get what you pay for, but it's not like you're getting less car. You know, you're still getting a Mercedes-Benz. There's still luxury in this car. I'd say this is more of like a young man's car. You know, you're sitting in like a young man's Mercedes. You know, you've got everything you need. Get your music on, Bluetooth on, but it looks the part as well. You know, I'm a big fan of coupes. I love the Mercedes coupes, but I think this is definitely on one of my I would love to own cars. And anybody that knows me, I don't really own 5-door cars. I've always had coupes or convertibles, but this is definitely one I'd put on my list as one I'd like to own. Just a beautiful car to be in, and a beautiful car to look at. I mean, it's always hard finding the right car. You know, sometimes you get a car and like, oh, the front is gorgeous, and you look at the back and you're like, oh well, you know, I prefer the front, so I'll park it this way, so I'll always see the front. But with this, every angle you look at it, it's just gorgeous. It's just, everything fits right, everything feels right, the steering's right. You got the flat bottom Mercedes thick steering wheel. You know you're in something quality. Just an amazing car to be in. Right, so I'm coming close to my destination now. I hope you've enjoyed me driving this car. And as I said, if any of you are unconvinced about a front-wheel drive Mercedes with the Mercedes engine, it has to have the Mercedes engine, go drive one, and I think you will be pleasantly surprised. Right, I hope you've enjoyed our review on this Mercedes CLA220 CDI. Don't forget you can subscribe to our YouTube channel on Autofit Birmingham. You can catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram to see what I've been up to and see the next car reviews that will be coming for the week after. You can find me at Aaron at Autofit. I hope you enjoy what I'm doing, and I hope you enjoy everything that we've brought to you. I just want to thank everyone that watches our videos and likes our videos. It means a lot to me because it's something that I love to do, and I hope that I can carry on with it in the future. I intend to, God willing. Everybody take care. I'm Aaron from Autofit Birmingham. We've been the garage to you.